Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Haut Beyleron, here in Farming Simulator 22 with me, CWATTY. It is still the same day. I am heading to the store with my tractor because, of course, at the end of the last video I bought some chickens. However, I didn't have a lot of wheat for them. So I need to buy some chicken food. And that is worth a lot of money. How many pallets can I buy at a time? That's 8. That's going to be 8,000 litres. And you know what? We'll buy 16,000 litres a week. Right. That gives me a chance then to test this bulk fill mod from Loki. See if it actually works. Ooh, it is, look. It's working in single player, which is exactly the same. Okay, the radius could do with being a bit bigger. Because it's only picked up one. Yeah, I could probably do with feeding that back to Loki straight away. That'll be my first bit of feedback. Need to make the pickup range able to pick up both rows. But yeah, we're getting some. It saves you clicking the button 10 times, doesn't it? So yeah, it's obviously working. It's working okay. It's doing what you want it to do. Like I say, if it could autofill all 10 pallets when you spawn them, that would be fantastic. That would be even better. Whoa, 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 Mr. Yellow Car, slow down. God, don't be in such a rush. So yeah, that'd be great. And then obviously need to test it works in multiplayer this time round, because last in FS19 the mod did not work on dedicated servers. It was a bit rubbish. In all honesty, filling stuff, it would actually stop you from filling pallets in the end, because it'd get so freaking screwed up. If you unloaded pallets from a machine, like if you emptied a seeder, you could never ever put those pallets into anything ever again. Those pallets would become completely busted. So I'm hoping this year, in FS22, Loki can sort that out and get that working. But hey, it's a work in progress mod, so I'm happy. I'm happy. Anyway, the chickens are fed. That's all I really wanted to do at this point today. I'm not going to dash off and do any contracting or anything like that. I have adjusted my finances based on the issues we had at the end of the last video as well, where I placed the chicken pen and it didn't like level the terrain, and then I was trying to level the terrain but it wouldn't let me level the terrain, so then I ended up having to delete the chicken pen, level the terrain, and then buy a new chicken pen. Oh, all very complicated stuff, all very expensive, but I managed to reimburse myself for the cost of the second chicken pen, because obviously when you refund the chicken pen, when I refunded the first pen to buy the second one, it didn't actually give me all the money back. It only gave me 39,000, and the chicken pens were quite expensive. Were what, 79,000? Yeah, so I had to basically give myself 40 grand back. So quite happy about that. Little tractors, look, the little classic tractors are still in here. I'm going to turn off the lumberjack mod. I love the fact we got lumberjack mod. That means next winter, some of these trees are going to get flipping destroyed. Hopefully I have better luck getting rid of these trees than I did the ones on Elm Creek, which were a little bit problematic, shall we say. I also don't know if there's a tree mulcher by Stevie. Removes tree stumps and bushes. Does it? But I wonder if Stevie's made his remove trees. And I'm wondering if I can use that with... I think it's... No, it's not that. It'll be under forestry machines. I think it's under this thing. I think it's this thing. We can use that, and if we put the mulcher on the front, I think it gets rid of trees. We may have to test that. We may have to test that theory. I think this is basically Stevie's version of the T-Rex that we had in FS19, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I might be getting it completely wrong, and it might not be the case. There's this thing. Truck with wood chipper built in, which is interesting. It's just a shame it's got the crane on it. I really don't need the built-in cranes, because obviously if I'm wood chipping, I'm picking up logs by hand. I'm not picking them up by a crane. That makes not much sense. I could be, again, wrong there, but it might be good to test that out, because obviously I've used this thing and I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That was a faff to use. I would have liked the Gens one from FS19, but Giants haven't put it in the game, sadly. And until some modder converts it or something, we're probably not going to get it in the game. Right, February. I'm saying goodbye to February now. We're going to move forward. We're going to move into March. We're going to get a seeder today. We're going to do some seeding. Oh, snow is falling. That's not a good sign. A lot of harvest income. That must be from the chickens. Chickens, chickens, chickens. Chickens, chickens, chickens. Few quid. Me greenhouses are still selling. Obviously we'll have honey over at the bees. But what we want now is we want the Massey is what we want, because we want to go get our cedar, because we can start seeding today. Now, 1st of March. We are in the seeding calendar for oat, sunflowers, potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, cotton, grapes, olives, poplar, grass and oilseed radish. So, I reckon we can get... We've got 2 fields, 2 fairly big fields. I reckon we can get oats planted on one of these fields. And then sunflower planted on the other one. And then we've got that one field down the bottom of the farm, which we can leave. And then we can maybe plant corn or soybeans a little bit later in the planting window. When the crops are all ready to, when they're allowed to be planted. Right, we are going to have, and we're going to have that Cavernland one, which Giants released yesterday as a mod, which was part of the Cavernland DLC for Farming Simulator 19. I'm not going to have a license plate on it, obviously, because the license plates don't match the tractor. And yeah, we're going to lease one of them. It's £8,000. But we can afford it. Right, I also want some seed then, and that holds, what did we say, 10,000 litres? So, seeds, that's 1,000. I'm going to have 16 pallets of seed. And we can come and fill that up. Magical. Bulk fill again. That's the symbol for oats. Yeah. So I would say maybe pickup radius needs to be increased. And then we want to pick up a couple from here. And then there will be a few left. A few pallets left, but that's not a problem. We'll be needing to refill this anyway. Yeah, we've got oats. Now I'm thinking field number 1 over here. This field is probably going to be oats. Oh. Let's go. Hope this is actually seeding. I must admit, some of the texture changes take a bit of getting used to. I can't tell if I've seeded or not. The seed's going down, so I assume it's seeding. I'm guessing because it's not direct drill, we're not seeing a texture change from... There is a colour change though in the right light. So yes, right in the correct angle, travelling at the correct angle, you can see where you've seeded at least. Okay. Good. Yeah, we'll probably end up taking the trees out at the bottom of the field, I think, next year, to give us that little bit of room to turn around. And run another row back down here. Partly because I want to be able to turn around. Might be an area. It's hard to tell because of the shadows. Whether that is seeded or not. I'm just going to drive through that bit. Man, can I not wait for guidance steering mod to come out. The FS22. I can have GPS tasks like this. I mean, I think, like I say, I think we're seeding. We'll check the field. But yeah, we get oats planted on this field. We'll go over yonder. We can put sunflowers on the field over yonder. That might have had sunflowers on it last year, I think. Then we've just got the one field down the bottom of the map which we can wait to plant. Make sure we put something on it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Tractor, where are you going? Oof. Got carried away. Thought I was going to end up in the flipping river then. I'd be like, oh great, now I've got to reset the tractor and the seeder, and then I'd have to buy my seed again. Because I'd lose all my seed. Don't do that. Don't drive a seeder into the water, whatever you do. Or a trailer, or anything that's got stuff in it, because you will lose it when you reset it. So there we go. More seed. Right, you should be able to just whiz along left to right, or backwards and forwards now. Which will take us nicely up to the back up to the store where I can refill the seeder, and then we can go and tackle the other field, our sunflower field. which will be, or the field that will be our sunflower field. Or do we? Do we plant sunflowers? Because sunflowers would require us to have a different header to harvest them, which would require leasing yet another bit of machinery, which would be very expensive. Might I be better off doubling up with oat? Another field of oat over yonder. Because I don't need a different header to harvest oats. The header for harvesting oats is the same header for harvesting wheat, barley, canola, which I've already got planted. It'd also be the same header for harvesting soybeans, which would therefore save me money. If I plant sunflowers, I'll need a different header. Sunflowers sell roughly for about what? 1,398. 1,400 at the grain elevator. Oat. Best prices in January. The prices are now gone down. So oat is over 1,000. Plus you get the straw as well. You'll get straw from oat, which we can also sell. Which can make us a lot of money. Yeah. Interesting conundrum, that. These are the things you've got to factor in. If I plant sunflowers, all I get is the sunflowers. And then whatever profit I make on the sunflowers, I have to subtract the cost of a header, which I will only use for harvesting that one crop. Whereas the header I get for harvesting my wheat, barley and canola, I can use to harvest the oats and soybeans. I think I'm going to go with oats. I think I'm going to double oats. I think I'm going to double crop. I'm going to do oats. I'm going to double up on oats. I think that makes more sense economically, because I don't own a harvester, don't own my own headers. I'm going to be leasing and renting those. Certainly for this year, for year 2. So it makes sense not to keep needing to lease and rent specialised equipment. I know straight away someone is going to make a comment about that. Someone's going to make a comment about me not wanting to rent specialised equipment based on the fact that on the multiplayer server last week I rented a sugar beet harvester for 24 grand to harvest one field of sugar beets. Knowing full well that sugar beets don't really sell for a lot of money unless you've got really, really high volume of them, which off of one field you're probably not going to get. But I did. I rented the sugar beet harvester for 24 grand to harvest one field, and then we've ended up having to put the sugar beets in a train silo to store them until the price is at the best, at its absolute peak, to sell them, just to try and break even, just to try and get 24 grand to cover the cost of leasing the harvester. The other option available to us was to just plough the sugar beets, because the sugar beets were already on the field, were already planted on the field when we bought it, or when I bought it. So the other option was to forget harvesting the sugar beets completely, plough them in, and then seed a different crop on that field for the following year. But we could harvest because we already had a machine to do so. Yeah, maybe. The thing is, in multi, I approach multiplayer a lot different than I do single player. Because obviously in single player, I'm trying to run a successful farm by myself. So I need to, I need to make all the income, and I need to make all the expenses, and I've got to balance the books. Whereas in multiplayer, I'm not terribly fussed about my expenditure, because I expect the other players to earn enough money to cover my spending, to cover my extravagant lifestyle. You know? I must admit, the couple of occasions I've logged in this last week, the end of last week and this weekend, I was getting a bit concerned seeing the money going down every day on the server. You know, one day we was at like 54 grand in the bank. Next day I logged in, we was down to 30. And then the next day I logged in, we was down to about 18 grand. I was like, oh, we're going to end up bankrupt. And then obviously Sunday I was on all afternoon, Sunday afternoon, doing playing. I did a couple of harvest contracts. I did some cultivating contracts. Did a ploughing contract. And I was able to, yeah, I was able to make and put about, I think when I logged out on Sunday evening, I'd got about 94 grand in the bank. I'd made quite a lot of profit. I imagine the first time I log in this week, that money will be gone. Because people keep spending it. People keep spending the money. One of the things I notice people tend to do is people keep repairing machines. And I would say to anybody on my multiplayer server, if you're watching, stop repairing the machines. For the simple reason, they're not ours. They are leased. We don't own them. So don't repair them. They don't belong to us. Stop wasting our money on somebody else's machines. I don't care if the performance drops off. I don't care if the paint falls off. They're not our machines. Stop spending all our money repairing them. I don't care if you're ploughing at 2 miles an hour because the tractor's wrecked. I don't care. You've got nothing better to do. Do the ploughing. I don't care if it takes you all day. Just plough. Stop repairing the machines. Stop spending my money. You know, let us make some bank, because again, one of the problems on the multiplayer server is all the machinery is leased. All the tractors are leased, which is, you know, costing us a fortune every single day in leasing fees. So we need to get in a position where, again, we replace a lot of that leased equipment with owned equipment by, well, as quickly as we can. So again, that is one of the reasons why I hope when people are on the server, they're just doing, you know, they're doing contracts one after another, and every single day they are clearing out that contract list. I don't know how many, I don't know typically how many contracts are on this list every single day. I don't know. But what we should be trying to do on the server is do all the contracts every single day, so that every single day we get a new list, and we end up with new machine. We end up with new stuff every single day, new options on what we can do. Video screenshot for the thumbnail. Because that is one of the big things. Also, another thing, this is probably, again, some people probably know this already, who have been playing Farming Simulator 22 and will have probably figured this out. There is an issue with the contracts. The contracts are a little bit bugged at the minute. Okay, we know about the harvest contracts being bugged, and I've already posted a fix for that. There is another issue with contracts, the contract screen as well, in that expired contracts, you know, don't actually disappear from this list automatically. So, for example, if field 30 here currently requires cultivating, however, if you don't do that job and you just leave that sat there, when the farmer eventually gets round to, where is field 30? Here's field 30. When he eventually gets round to seeding that field, okay, and if he cultivates it and then he seeds it, okay, that contract will still be sitting there, okay, and it will sit there until you accept it, at which point it won't go to active at the top of the list, it'll just disappear, okay. But what that does is then that frees up a slot, that frees up a contract slot. And when you next sleep and advance to the next day, a new contract will be put into that slot. So what you need to do periodically in your game, if you're not doing it already, is come to the contract screen and just accept contracts. Click on and accept contracts. Okay, the ones that go into active at the top of the screen, those are perfectly fine. Those contracts are okay. Okay, they're valid. The ones that have expired will disappear. They won't show up as active. And then all you need to do is you need to select the active contracts and just cancel them. You don't lose any money because you've not actually done any work. You've not been paid for anything. So just cancel the active contracts and just work your way down the list and clear the list. Completely empty the list. And then, like I say, the next time you sleep in game, the next time and you advance to the next day or the next month or whatever, that list will get all brand new contracts. You'll have all brand new contracts and they'll all be active ones. They'll all be proper contracts that you can do. So yeah, it's just a good habit to get into if you've not been doing it and you wonder why sometimes when you accept a contract it just disappears. And you think, well, hang on a minute, I just clicked on a contract and it's gone. And I didn't, you know, it's vanished. That is why. And again, that was one of the things I did on the multiplayer server at the weekend. I went through the contract list and cleared off all the contracts, deleted them all at the end of one day. And then when I slept and advanced time to the next day, we got all new contracts again. And again, I think that helps with some of the issues where some contracts don't pop up. Like I say, Mr. Helgi was waiting for 2 harvest contracts to appear. And they just weren't, you know, every day he was waiting for these 2 harvest contracts for these 2 fields. And they didn't appear. I think it was because the contract screen was full of expired contracts. And once you cleared the contract screen out and cleared all the slots, and then the game was able to generate new contracts and make new ones, there you go. Two harvest contracts appeared for me on Sunday, and I was able to do them both. So yeah, it is what it is. Right, my new wonky edge field that I put down. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm liking this idea by doing oat. I know people say, "Oh, that's going to be a bit boring. You're harvesting the same crop twice." It means we're going to have twice as much oat to sell, and again, that then brings us into the realms of, with 2 fields worth of oats, that we could probably afford to put that on a train and send that off map to sell it. Again, there's very little point leasing a train if you're only selling, you know, 10, 12, 20,000 litres of something. I think if you've got over 100,000 litres of a crop, it's probably worth using the train to sell it, because you're going to make a lot more money. Okay? I think if you've got under 100,000 litres of a crop, you probably don't want to be selling it via the train. With the train rental fee and that, it's probably not really worth it. Unless, of course, you've got a couple of items. Like, for example, if you had, say, 50,000 litres of wheat, and you had maybe 50,000 litres of barley, and, you know, 25,000 litres of canola or something, and you can put all 3 of those crops on the train, that's probably then worth sending off the map to sell. But I wouldn't go for... I wouldn't do it for less. Ideally, you want to make sure that when you're sending the train off the map, on any of the maps, whether it be this map or Elm Creek or Erlengrat, you want to make sure it's loaded. You want to make sure you've got as much stuff on it as you can. So yeah, if I can get a full train load of oats, then that's going to make me quite a lot of money. Plus we're going to have the straw, like I say. That's the one added thing, the one added bonus of this whole process is we get the straw. Which we already know we can take to the biomass heating plant. Or we could take it to the biogas. No, we can't. No, can we? Now I'm going to need to check. Didn't I make that mistake in the video? Didn't I take the straw? No, was it the side? Yes, it was. It's the heating plant that takes straw and the animal dealer. Okay, it's the biogas plant and the animal dealer that takes silage. So straw goes to the heating plant and the animal dealer. Silage goes to the biogas plant and the animal dealer. So yeah, if you want to make money off the straw, you've got a couple of choices there. The animal dealer tends to, I think the animal dealer tends to be higher priced than the heating plant. But if you've got a lot of straw and you dump it at the animal dealer, you could probably crash the price at the animal dealer before you've sold all your straw. So you've then got the heating plant to fall back on to enable you to get rid of that straw. Which is good, I suppose, in some regards, in some senses. But yeah, we're going to have a whiz through. Get this seeded. Seeing as we've got the seeder out, I might then have a look to see if there's any seeding contracts that we can do and make use of this. Obviously, this year, much better to do seeding contracts because this seeder doesn't use fertilizer, so I'm not wasting money on fertilizer. I know technically I could have unloaded the seeder last year and then just filled it with seed and seed only, but I didn't want to keep unloading the machine and reloading it and unloading it and reloading it, especially as back then I had nowhere to store the seed and fertilizer. Now I do, because I can put it in my silo. The pallet, I can put the pallets of stuff in the silo and refill my machines from the silo now, which is great. And also, because we got bulk fill, or we're going to have bulk fill very shortly, reloading from pallets is going to be a lot easier and not as time consuming, because you're not going to have to keep sitting there clicking the button on every single pallet. So yeah, maybe if there's a few CNE contracts, I might run off and do a few of those off camera, if I can, and make a bit of money from doing that. We then obviously we'll need to get these fields fertilized and get another application of fertilizer put on them. I don't know what I've got loaded in my spreader currently, whether it's lime or fertilizer. I know I've got weed killer loaded in the sprayer, and I think I'm probably just going to leave the sprayer for weed killing, set up for weed killing. I don't think I'm going to keep using the sprayer for fertilizer. I think I'm probably going to use it for herbicide. Saying that, I have got 2 pallets of liquid fertilizer sat by the greenhouse. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah, it's all good stuff. So yeah, get these 2 fields fertilized. Then I've literally, the only thing I'd have to do to these fields in time is I would need to weed kill them. Once I've done the fertilizing, I would only have to do weed killing, weed spraying. And then these fields are done until ready for harvesting. I'm already cutting down my workload a little bit, you know, from the past. It's getting in the groove now. It's getting in the groove, getting in the, you know, now these fields are my own, and I can work them how I would work them, using the same logic that I used in FS19. It's a lot easier. I'm not having to drive backwards and forwards on the fields multiple hundreds of thousands of times. And as I say, this field doesn't need fertilizing because we had the cover crop on it. So that's one less field I've got to do. So this field now, as soon as I've seeded it, that's it, it's done. Literally just keep an eye on it for if weeds appear, and if weeds grow on it, then we'll spray it. But yeah, I won't have to touch this field until harvest time. So that's reduced my workload greatly. So maybe that's something we can do, you know. Yeah, I mean, we might have to do some like rotating, explore actual like crop rotating at some point, because I'm thinking, what I'm thinking is, you know, we've got like the wheat, the canola and the barley fields here, which we know we harvest in the summer. Think, yes, July, August time. Thing is, we can replant those straight away, so they're not actually a problem as such. you wouldn't want to put oilseed radish on those fields in September and October, would you? And then the following February, cultivate them, and then in the March put your oats, sunflowers and that. And then, like, once you've harvested your sunflowers, soybeans, corn in, you know, November, you can't obviously oilseed radish, but what you could do, those fields you could oilseed radish in the March, cultivate those in the August, and then you'd be able to plant your wheat, barley, etc., canola. So that's kind of what I'm talking about there when I say crop rotation. And it would just save us using that little bit of fertilizer, won't it? It will. Right, I'm going to head to the store. I'm going to load up with some more, refill with seed. I'm then going to have a look at what sowing contracts there are to do on the map. And then I might, like I say, I'll probably go off and do a couple of those off camera. Make a bit more use of today. Use a bit more of today. Because we have got some time. I don't want to keep skipping ahead. I mean, I'm playing on 3 times speed, but there's just not a lot to keep me busy. Huh? At the moment, with having such little field and little in the way of productions and animals and everything. So yeah, let's have a look. Sowing. I think that contract's probably gone now. No, it's active. Sow field 18 with cotton. Okay, can I do that with my current machine? I would hope so. And sow field 13 with sunflowers. Okay. Load that one up too. So 13 and 18. Those are the 2 contracts. Figure out where they are on the map. 13 and 18. Well, 18 is going to be up here near the crash zone. The area of death. Which maybe is not a bad thing. I don't think it crashes now. I can do cotton with this. Good. Right. I'm going to have a drive then to that field, 18, and do the contract on that field. We've reached the end of today's episode, everybody. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you've clicked that like button for me. Also check that you're subscribed to the channel and you have enabled your notification bell, so you get notified whenever I upload new videos to the channel and you don't miss out on any of the great content that I produce. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions, everything like that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to share the video, and yeah, I'll see you all again very soon in the next episode of Haut Beyleron. For now though, from me, CWATTY, it's time to say, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye for now.